name is Michael Potts. I live on a Scepter 36-foot sailboat, and this is where I am today. Over the last 100 videos, I've sailed my boat all the way from Toronto, down the eastern seaboard, into Florida, across to the Bahamas, and back. In the last video, we were heading south towards Miami from Palm Beach in the ICW when my engine failed. We managed to sail her through the narrow ICW canal all the way to Lake Sylvia, where we anchored and evaluated the situation. In this video, I'm going to effect repairs on my Yanmar 2QM20 diesel engine. The engine failing is one of the major things that happen, so stick around to the end of the video because something else happens that changes everything. There is something wrong with the engine. Let me recap the story. We were headed for Miami, and we were on the intercoastal between two bridges. The engine sometimes will just shut down due to low oil. That's only happened once. Or just sometimes it'll just stop and you have to re-bleed it. So I don't know what's going on there. Something weird there. So anyway, it just quit. And I was like, oh, that's weird. And it made a weird noise. Right away, I'm like, oh, geez. So I anchored and we were safe, and I went down below and started looking at it. And when it started, it was making a different noise. I think there's compression releasing. So just to give you an idea of what I'm dealing with here, let's turn over the engine. You can hear what's going on. So this is the Yanmar 2QM20, and something is very wrong. I mean, it sounds to me like there's compression escaping. So I'm gonna take the top end off. I'm gonna remove all the fuel components, which I need to work anyways. I'm gonna remove all this stuff, and I'm gonna pull the head because there's compression escaping out of the back of the engine. There's something going on with the injectors. So that all needs to be worked on. Let's get to work. First, I removed all the ancillary items, like the alternator and belt, the water cooling system and hoses, then the manual hand crank, and the fuel system on the Yanmar 2QM20 marine diesel engine. Once I had access to the cylinder head, I removed the valve cover and pried the exhaust manifold system away from the head, which allowed me to undo the head bolts and remove the head so that I could get a good look at the head gasket and see if it was the problem. Once I determined the head gasket was the problem, I ordered another one. It came in about 5 days later. I put the head gasket on, put everything back together, but somehow it still was losing compression. After consulting with my dad, who used to work for BP as a marine diesel engine engineer, he suggested maybe it was the timing. So I consulted the manual and redid the timing and gave the engine another try. I got the head back on. It's just keeping with tradition on this boat. I've broken my torque wrenches, and then I broke my main wrench, Stanley wrench that I've had for years. So anyway, I'm gonna have to go spend another $200 on a torque wrench. The place is open till 6, so I'm gonna hop in the boat and go get it now. So I was able to get another set of torque wrenches from AutoZone in town, and I managed to get the bolts torqued down to spec according to the manual. Oh my God. It has been one hell of a... I got it running! Woo! Yeah, buddy! Watch this, listen to this. That's a French Canadian guy over there. So... it's running. I mean, the boat is a total disaster. Look at this shit everywhere. I mean, I've been like covered in oil for days and days. Tools everywhere.
actually running better than she was before. So I'm happy to run her. So now I just got to take care of all the little details. So the head gasket did work. The problem was timing. The timing was off. And when I torqued down the head, it seemed like there wasn't compression, and I just was launched into a depression about having to re-power this boat. And then I realized, wait a minute, I should adjust the timing according to the manual. So I downloaded the manual, and we're good. So suddenly, it's all possible again.
I've been on this boat for 6 years with my cell phone and never cracked the screen or dropped it overboard. But just as I thought everything was going perfect, disaster struck again.
Well, another self-inflicted wound. And this one's really bad. Last night I went and visited another boat. Some Canadians had me over for dinner. And was on the back of the boat, and I took a selfie of all the people. I put my phone in my pocket. I got in my dinghy. When I got to my boat, the phone was gone. So I have another tablet with a SIM card, so I powered it up and tried to get into my Google account, and it locked me out. So I am now don't have access to anything, so I'm screwed. What do you do in the face of adversity? You just do what you can. So there's a scuba store right here. I'm going to go fill the 2 tanks. I know I have, I know I got money, so I can just go and call the bank or do what I got to do. Pretty sure, like, I have 2 accounts, right? So I have, I'll have enough to fill the scuba tanks. Go with these scuba tanks down and try and retrieve the phone. I'm pretty sure it's got to be between here and that boat. It's a nice clear bay. And once I find the phone, pull the SIM card and put it in my old phone. That's the best way to do it. You can't do anything without a phone number. Okay, your accounts, they just lock you out. So what I'm gonna do is up and go over there and get this going. All right. So I'm on the phone now with the bank. They blocked my account. So anyway, I'm here at the scuba shop, and I used my card and it worked. But then when I phoned the bank, they said they blocked my account. So now I'm on hold with the fraud department. So I got to my boat here, and my dinghy was locked up. I went in the office, and they asked me for $300. And I explained my case, and that you know, I was just getting these scuba tanks, and they were nice enough to unlock my dinghy and let me leave.
On a positive note, I was quite happy to have an excuse to get in the water and go down to the bottom and take a look around. This particular bay, Lake Sylvia, is pretty clear part of the day when the tide's moving out and in. And there's all sorts of things on the bottom. Think about it, all these boats that have been here over the years. People have dropped tons of things. I'm sure cell phones. But I found some forks. I even found a pump out adapter. Wonder how that got there. And then there she was, sitting face up on the bottom of the bay.
found the phone. There it is. So I'm now gonna take the case off and put it in rice, and I'm gonna put it in the oven for like a few hours and kind of go from there. We'll see what happens, but that was a successful dive. As soon as I went down there, I saw it, and that was it. So this is why you need scuba gear on a boat for sure. All right, let's make this thing work, because this is like my lifeline. The glorious sound of that engine is just, you know, I really think we've solved all the issues with the engine for this season. She's running really consistently. She's not searching for revolutions. You can hear the compression stroke is pronounced and good. So it's actually running better than it ever has before. So hopefully we'll get maybe another 500,000 hours until some more issues crop up. So I do need oil, more diesel. I need to get a pump out. Problem is if I leave this anchorage, I will lose my spot, right? Because there's so many. This is such a great anchorage. As you can see, there's lots of boats here. So I need to get my Genoa, which is ready for pickup. It's been fixed, and it's like north of here. So I'm gonna have to hop in the dinghy, go ashore, lock up my dinghy, take an Uber to that facility, get my sail, come all the way back and get it onto the boat, and put that sail onto the furler. That's what we're gonna do today. And because we have no reason to really be here anymore, and the engine's fine. You know, I just need the sail. I need to go get a pump out, diesel, water, provisions, and we're gonna head south here and go to somewhere different. You know, I've been here for like weeks because of this engine issue. So it's really sad that Devin's gone. But you know, we're talking about him coming back later on. So yeah, all right, let's do this. Let's get the sail, let's get sorted, and let's get out of this anchorage.
After all that has happened this season, I've blown through most of my budget. I want to thank all of the people that have reached out on Patreon, joined the Patreon. It's only $3 a month, link in the description below. Thank you so much for all those people who donated. I'm only 300 nautical miles away from getting to where I said I was going to go when I left Toronto. Check me out on Patreon. It's only $3 a month. And I don't know if you guys know, but I worked as a landscaper this year. There was a film strike. Usually I work as a cinematographer. So this year I was working at $20 an hour, cutting people's lawns to be out here and bring you these videos. If you really appreciate this content, join my Patreon. There's a video on Patreon only where I show you a device that can save you thousands of dollars when buying a sailboat. You have to watch this. There's also a video about the time I was in the South Pacific on a ship headed from Auckland, New Zealand to Fiji, and the ship was wrecked by a rogue wave. And I tell the story in detail. It's a really interesting video, only on Patreon. Check me out. Link is in the description below. So that's it for this week's video. I appreciate everyone who's stuck to the end here, everyone's support. Thank you so much. Captain Michael, signing out.